This is Brew Crime News.
Your daily news, once monthly. Here are your hosts,
JT
and Mike.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brew Crime News, where we deliver your daily news monthly. I'm JT, a.k.a. I can't think of a clever name tonight. I had written Jingle Tingle, but that seems a little childish at this point. And I'm here with my co-host,
Santa Claus. No, Mike. And we've got two guests with us.
Hi, it's Jen. I'm back. Jen from our True Crime Podcast.
And
Can't stay away.
And it's John Taylor from the Twisted Podcast and from Criminal Conduct.
all right. Woo! Excited to have you on, John, because we just met you.
And this is crazy.
Yep, live by Jen, and I met Mike and JT this past weekend in Denver, which was awesome.
and
Woohoo!
somehow he still came with us on this journey tonight.
Yes.
Because he's
So
a smart guy.
let's throw to our first theme.
NBC News reports that a maniac murder cult, so hopefully I've piqued your interest, plotted to have a person in a Santa costume poison kids in New York City.
What?
This is one of those news titles where it's just like you keep thinking it's going to stop, but it just keeps going. So this article's from July 17th. Neo-Nazi, because of course, from the country of Georgia, hatched a sinister plot to have a person dress as Santa Claus and pass out poisoned candy to racial minorities and Jewish children
Oh,
in New York
Jesus.
City on New Year's Eve. Boy, they're really thinking ahead. Mikhail, I literally listened to the pronunciation of this multiple times. Good luck to me. Chikikvishvili is where I'm going with. But also, he's known as Michael, so we're going to go with that more
Oh, Michael,
so.
yeah.
I think is safe. He's 20 years old, and he was indicted on 4 charges, including soliciting hate crimes and acts of mass violence in New York City. He's also known as Commander Butcher. He's 20. He's too young to be called Commander.
Commander Butcher?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Um,
some kind of weird incel on the internet. Like,
There's a lot of them. But they kind of put what they're about in the actual title of the cult. It's literally called Maniac Murder Cult, which is
That's
an
the name of the
international
cult? If that's the name of the cult, or that's what their moniker for the press is.
The
don't
group
know.
goes by the initials MKY, but I think that might be Georgian for Maniac Murder Cult
Murder
in
cult.
terms of, yeah. So they follow neo-Nazi ideology. It's a lot
You
of the stuff that
think?
goes along with it.
I didn't know
Um,
that the neo-Nazis used Santa Claus to perpetrate murder.
well, I
They're
mean,
gonna-
I've listened to that podcast. Santa may be a criminal, so might be a cult leader too.
Pod over. We found our answer. But since November, he solicited the help of a prospective member of this cult who is actually an undercover FBI employee
Of course.
to commit acts of violence. And the same month, he began to plan a mass casualty attack in NYC. He wanted to have the undercover law enforcement employee dress up as Santa Claus. I would not be great undercover because at that point, I would just lose it and break.
Yeah.
Every bone in his body. Yeah.
That too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But yeah, every time something like this comes out, I'm just like, aren't we past this? And then I realize
We're not,
we were never past this. My
we're
hope
tits
is showing.
deep in it still, right?
Right.
Well, each new generation, they get to bring this stuff back again. So it's like,
Ugh.
it's just cyclical.
It's
Well, we've ruined like history class, so nobody learns from the past anymore.
no.
So here we are. Those who don't understand history. in his instructions, he told the agent to purchase poison materials. It must be nice to be able to tell somebody, just go do this. And just as a 20-year-old, I didn't have the confidence to do that at all.
No.
So,
I still don't have the confidence to do something like that.
correct. But he told him to purchase poison materials and chocolate candies anonymously via delivery service or by paying with cash, to burn the Santa costume after use, and to place Santa socks or stockings with candies in random apartments.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Like this is really well thought out in a
Well,
terrible way.
and he's also, in terms of that commit acts of mass violence, he's spoken about bombings, arson, spreading ricin. So this guy, I'm glad he's off the street. That's for sure. It was the Santa thing that threw me. And apparently in 2021, he distributed a manifesto that was called the Hater's Handbook, which I just relate to the burn book from Mean Girls. I just assume it's a lot like
That's
that.
immediately what, as a female, yes, that's immediately what popped in my head with not just Mean
Well.
Girls, but girls tend to do stuff like that in high school or
Yeah.
middle school mostly. But
So the moral of the story is, if you see Santa in NYC, just go ahead and take him out. Just punch a neo-Nazi Santa, I guess. I don't know.
I like that his instructions said to get poison. Like if you walked into a store, there's like a can that says poison. Like he doesn't give him any details. Like not a type of poison. Like there's something that just says poison, and then you just get that. Like this
do you
guy's
want
never
Drano? Do you want bleach? Like, what do you want?
No, Mike, you just
Just-
go into the store and it's a red can that has poison and then an X on it, right? Isn't that what our cartoons tell us?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to strap women to train tracks and let the
Mhm.
Rocky
Yeah,
and Bullwinkle
You
will
must pay
save them.
the
It'll be
rent,
fine.
But I can't. Yeah. Wow. I mean, seriously, how evil it is. It's like, well, let's get Santa, who's the most trusted thing for kids,
Yeah.
right? It would be Santa.
He was until I
100%.
saw Home Alone 2. That ruined it.
Is that Joe Pesci?
Oh my
Those
gosh.
guys?
All of it.
I think
Just
so,
all
yeah.
of it. Oh man.
All
Well,
right.
that's Maniac Murder Cult.
Well, from one dumbass to another, Alberta man tries to sell kilo of cocaine to an officer at a British Columbia RCMP detachment, loses appeal.
He lost it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, this was just published a couple days ago. An Alberta man who tried to sell a brick of cocaine to a police officer in the parking lot of a British Columbia RCMP detachment will serve a 26-month prison term after his appeal of the sentence was rejected by the BC's highest court. Kevin David Scott was convicted of drug trafficking and possession in 2022, 3 years after he was arrested in Coquitlam, BC. A Mountie had been conducting a surveillance for an unrelated drug investigation in the parking lot of a shopping mall when Scott parked in his vehicle several stalls away, noted the undercover officer. The officer drove away, but Scott followed him in his vehicle, eventually arriving at a parking lot for the Coquitlam RCMP detachment, according to BC Court of Appeal. When the officer rolled down his window to ask the man why he was following him into the police lot, Scott tossed a tote bag into the police car through the open window. Scott asked the officer about the paper, an apparent reference to money, and the Mountie told him he was going to park properly before continuing this discussion.
They
Wow.
they put windows on horses now?
Yeah, right?
Got it.
Ugh.
That's
So
a Florida man story,
Right?
not a British Columbia story.
So it sounds like the cop, while he was moving into the parking spot property, he called in uniformed backup to the lot. And then shortly thereafter, Mr. Scott realized the situation and attempted to flee the parking lot, driving over a curb and endangering nearby pedestrians, the judge wrote. After a brief pursuit, Mr. Scott parked his car and he exited his vehicle to comply with the arrest. Stopped on two cell phones that were in his possession.
He didn't ask for it back.
Nope. But supposedly there was cocaine and MDA, so $85,000 cash in the tote bag.
Still use the excuse. It's not mine.
Yeah, so there's a kilo
I
of
was
cocaine,
I was holding
500
it for a
grams
friend.
of MDA, in a compartment under the passenger seat, and more than $85,000 in cash.
Man, that sounds like my typical Friday night.
I'm kind of surprised it was only, how many months did it say? 26 months.
Jeez.
That's a lot of drugs.
I feel like this guy had a bet with a friend on who could get arrested faster.
Right.
And he was basically like, it's not fast enough. I'll need to throw the drugs into the cop car. Like this is taking too long. I need to really speed up the process.
Well, he did a good job of that.
And he followed the guy to the police station. Like there's no, like, were these not red flags that maybe this is going bad for him?
Like you're gonna turn the corner and there's the big RCMP sign. Like, come on.
Well, if you're going to exchange cash, that would be the safest place to be. I mean, they always tell you if you're doing a Facebook Marketplace sale, you try to go to the police station so it's safe, right? So he's just doing due diligence now.
I stand corrected. You're right. He was being very, very intelligent with this.
He was trying really hard not to get robbed. I mean, that's a lot of drugs. That is. A lot of cash would be there.
That's true.
Right.
Like if he's in prison, there's no way that he's telling that story, right? Like the inmates would be like, "You did what?" Like,
come on, man.
No way.
He might be happy that he's in prison because the person he was probably selling it for is pissed.
Very mad.
Oh yeah. 85 grand's missing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what a kilo of coke goes for, but it can't be cheap.
No. You know what? Commander Butcher is really pissed though, because that's not what he meant by poison. So
a 12 pack of coke isn't cheap anymore, so I can imagine what.
True. It's funny how the Coke from the bottle tastes different than the Coke from the baggie, right?
Exactly.
If they would have just kept it in the Coke, it would have been fine. We wouldn't have this issue. Just
That's right.
Go back to old Coke. New Coke didn't work.
Here's whatever ails you.
Yeah.
I can't feel my lips. I don't know why.
My husband was just telling me about somebody he watches that buys mail that has gone that hasn't been claimed or lost mail that they've paid out or stuff like that.
I've heard of this.
And they opened up some of these packages and one of it was like $50,000 worth of cocaine.
Wow.
And it's like, can you imagine? First, you're dumb enough to send drugs through the U.S. postal system and then it gets lost. The mail loses it. So
yeah, you need to put a return address on that. That's like
exactly.
criminal 101.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys that we're investigating in terms of the missing case that we're covering on True Crime and Wine Time, he just got arrested. Actually, it was probably a couple weeks ago, because he mailed I think it was like 30 grand and 50 pounds of marijuana to himself through UPS, and there were no federal charges, oddly, and on top of that, he was just kind of given a slap on the wrist. So he must have some information somewhere. That's my assumption about somebody.
I could just order pot to my house on Uber Eats. Like, geez,
all right, listen,
mailing
sir.
it to yourself.
Listen.
Yeah, I had a friend who had an acquaintance that I had met who mailed a bunch of Molly and did put his return address on and did get caught and he spent a few
because of the return address.
Yeah.
Then I guess you put your neighbor's address. I think that's what you
should
do.
Put somebody else. Yeah, you don't use your
get
own.
get them arrested.
Exactly.
The church. Pick a church.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Any church.
Yeah.
Or a YMCA. I don't know. Just a real quick one. And of course, this happened in Florida, in Tampa. News Channel 8 reports that a Florida man was arrested after he indulged in sweets and other various items inside a closed Walgreens. So basically what this guy did was he arrived at the Walgreens at 9:40 p.m. He went into the bathroom. He didn't come out until 2:42 a.m. And then he proceeded for nearly 5 hours to walk around the store and just eat Tostitos, spinach dip, chips, Reese's, Ghirardelli chocolate bars, Dr. Pepper, and Newport cigarettes. So they arrived and they saw him through the front doors taking a pack of cigarettes from behind the counter. And they helped unlock the store's doors. Actually, it says the footage shows officers helping the man unlock the store's doors. So I guess they walked him through how to flip a switch or something. He made no attempts to exit the store or call for help to get out. He was arrested. He said, "quote I came in here to use the bathroom." Um, Sir,
He
we're
was
kind of
making room for the snacks. That's what he
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you
that's
shouldn't.
just
You can't. Can you really arrest somebody just for having to go to the bathroom for 5 hours? I mean,
No.
he clearly had some problems if he's stuck in there for 5 hours.
I think
Yeah,
every
ate some
dad
bad
is
food.
worried now because that's where we
Yeah.
escape. That's where I escape. So
Yeah.
And now you
Moms
gotta worry
can't
about
because
getting
they follow
arrested.
us. Yeah. He
I
blew up
just
the
find it
bathroom
funny.
and then blew up the snack aisle. So, right. Yeah. That's, see, that's,
it is something
was
else.
he intoxicated or anything? Just kind of,
No, I mean I've heard of the
hanging out?
munchies, but that's going to some lengths. That's wild to me.
because I
it
can't
was petite
imagine.
larceny, so I'm assuming the total was like minimal. The most expensive thing was probably the Newport cigarettes that he pulled out from behind the counter. So
I bet the
yeah.
cops were so frustrated trying to tell him how to open up the doors. Because I mean, I've
It's-
had to tell kids how to unlock doors, and it's yeah.
It's like
It's like
trying to tell a
hitting your
2-year-old,
head
no,
on
no,
the
no,
wall.
push this.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Can
something.
you imagine though if he ate enough to make it like a felony, like whatever that threshold was, that you're just like, I ate $500 worth of candy at Walgreens or something?
Honestly,
that would
we'd be having that
that'd be
scene
horrific.
from Anchorman where it's like, I'm not mad, I'm just impressed.
I know,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, just let the man go. He's gonna be hurting for a while.
I didn't even
that's
know
punishment
Walgreens
enough.
had spinach dip.
What?
I didn't even know Walgreens had spinach dip.
It's,
know?
yeah. There's little metal can. Okay.
Metal candles. Yeah.
Maybe they did, and that's why he had to spend 5 hours in the washroom.
Maybe he went to the pharmacy first and got something there, and obviously not Ozempic or anything like that, but still.
Oh. Bill Page's bedroom.
All right, I'll do this one first then. Restaurants increasingly welcoming dogs with pogaritas and charcuterie boards. It's a really hard one to
Okay.
say.
That's
Charcuterie.
hard. That's difficult.
So there's a restaurant called Okini Restaurant and Bar in Vancouver, and they serve like AAA steaks and duck fat potatoes with broccoli and golden eagle sablefish and all that kind of shit. But more importantly, while they're eating that, they have dishes for dogs. So they have milk bone rimmed pogaritas and beef liver dusted and pepperoni topped potini on a small pet friendly menu they offer. So the reaction has been crazy, like more than I anticipated. Juan said, everyone's really excited about this.
Makes me
So
want to go to a
Everyone-
Walgreens in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I wonder if this tells the prices for these things, because these don't sound cheap.
Well, in
So-
all honesty, I think it would be fun to go to because I would
Oh,
love the
yeah.
pets, but I'm pretty sure the owners I probably wouldn't like. You
Here,
know
I'll
what I
send you
mean?
the,
The people that would bring their pets to have a charcuterie board or
Yeah.
right. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I.
there's a link to the picture.
It's like when you take your kids to a restaurant, which you shouldn't do, that's kind of expensive, and they're just like, they don't appreciate anything that's
Frenchie.
there in front of them. And they're
Right.
just like, where's
Yeah.
the chicken tenders? This
So it
is
says across Canada, there are now wineries selling charcuterie boards, bars with mini picnic tables dogs can use to nibble on treats, and dining establishments delivering non-alcoholic beer, cottage pie, or peanut butter and ice cream to pups on their patios. Sorry.
Oh,
even big
clever.
chains are in on it, with A&W Canada offering $2 grass-fed beef patties for dogs last month, and Shake Shack Canada selling vanilla crusted laden with woofer biscuits.
The whole it's Canada, but the whole feed the poor thing. I don't remember feed the Great Dane, feed the pug, feed the. I'm looking at this picture right now, and I'm happy. This dog is beyond happy, over some potatoes. But I feel like.
Well, a lot of it's like over COVID, a lot of people got animals and everything, and people want to be able to still go to the restaurant, and they can't have them inside the restaurant here, but they can have them on the patio. So they're trying to find ways to bring the people in as every restaurant struggles right now.
I'm going to predict that in a year from now, there's going to be a headline that Vancouver sees a rise in animal diabetes.
Probably.
Nice.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Canine diabetes.
I don't know where
I mean?
they get the stat from, but it says the Canadian dog population rose by 200,000 to 7.9 million between 2020 and 2022. So 200,000 extra dogs in 2 years. It's a lot of dogs.
That's
a lot of
working in
dogs.
kind of that area. Yes. And with my wife working in the adoption side of things, absolutely. And there's also a high level
animal
of
adoption
too.
Animal adoption.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. We're still talking about animals, though, right? Your wife.
Yes.
Your wife. Okay.
Yes.
You said HR. That threw me off. And you just said adoption, and I'm just like, I don't know that adoption is the same thing as just like getting a dog on the side of the road. Those are two different things. But okay, you're talking about animals. Okay,
yes.
fair enough.
It'd be really bad if we went from feeding dogs in a restaurant to kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a link there somewhere.
Yeah,
I just don't know if I'm willing to find it.
Well, I was getting ready. I was getting ready to mock like how much people spend on their dogs, but I mean, compared to like if you're going to adopt a child, that spending would be low because I mean that's like tens of thousands.
Right.
But people will buy their dogs almost anything, so I think it's a good idea.
Well, yeah. I mean, when my dog gets groomed once a month, and every time we go in there, he always gets a toy, and maybe every quarter he gets a new, collar or. But I don't think I don't think I'd take him to restaurants quite often. You know what I mean? I mean, he is a good dog and he's very well behaved, but I don't know.
They're always great until the meat shows up. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like it's a disaster waiting to happen. Like, you need at least 5 feet, and I guarantee you those tables are not 5 feet apart.
No.
So.
Well, and plus, it's nice to eat at a restaurant when you don't have his big brown eyes looking at you, begging for a bite of your burger or whatever.
Yeah. Although
I'll
my
make sure
wife
when we
really
finally meet and we eat, I'll be just staring awkwardly
Yeah,
at you the whole
exactly.
time.
Yeah. That's
my
okay.
wife spends the entire time like at a brewery or whatever, just petting all the dogs that are there.
Oh, yeah.
So it works.
Oh, yeah. My
Yeah.
daughter and we've been going for walks every night, and it takes us a lot longer because we have to stop and pet every dog that we see.
Yep.
Because everybody in the neighborhood, and we've met so many. I know all the names of the dogs in the neighborhood. I don't know their owners' names, but I know the pets' names.
The same.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, you're Layla's mom. Like, I don't know the person's name. I only know the dog.
I know.
And that's all that matters.
Now there's
Yeah.
people coming over to our neighborhood to walk too that have dogs. So learning their dogs' names.
Listen, I've got 62 therapy dog teams in this program that I run, and they would much rather you know their dogs' names and say that they're their mom or dad than know their own names.
Right.
That is like the priority number one. So,
Yep. I agree.
So I even take treats for when we walk, so I can.
it's a whole thing.
I ask before I give.
Yes.
Yeah, because I like the animals.
Is there anything else that you have left for that one, Mike?
Nope, that's good enough.
Is Vancouver kind of is that in the area where it's kind of like nouveau riche people? Like, is that why
Bougie?
they're doing it? Bougie, yeah.
Bougie.
It's a
Hell
bougie
yeah.
way to say
Hell
bougie.
Yeah.
It's a very
Look at
wealthy
Mike.
city, yes.
Just look at Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike exudes
It's
wealth
business.
and elitism. When
Oh,
I met
yes,
this
of
guy,
course.
I was like, Rockefeller? What's this guy's name?
It's the ascot and the pipe. Yeah.
Yes. The smoking
ascot.
jacket that he wore
Yeah.
during the conference.
Yeah,
It really
exactly.
gave him away.
Yes,
course.
I look at
Yeah.
Mike and I think 1%.
He's a 1%er. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
I see where my money trickles down.
I wouldn't be a renter if that was the case. Jeez.
Well, you might still be actually considering the price up there, to be honest.
Yeah, no shit.
This is a little bit older, and it's from the Independent. And you all might have heard about this. But did you know that dolphins deliberately get high?
Yes, I did.
No, I did not.
No.
I know that dolphins can be kind of not nice, but
Rapey.
yes,
They can be jerks.
Yes,
But Adam Withnall, the author of this, he had a fun job. I think this is a great story to pull, but he writes that dolphins are thought as one of the most intelligent species in the animal kingdom, and experts believe they put their ingenuity to use in the pursuit of getting high.
we do.
What?
Yeah.
we do.
Stressful.
In extraordinary scenes filmed for a new documentary, young dolphins were seen carefully manipulating a certain kind of pufferfish, which, if provoked, releases a nerve toxin. And though large doses of the toxin can be deadly, in small amounts it's known to produce a narcotic effect. And dolphins appear to have worked out how to make them release just the right amount. They carefully
wild.
chew on the puffer and pass it. They chew pass between one another, and they enter what seems to be like a trance-like state. And it was captured on camera, which is awesome and hysterical. But a zoologist, Rob Pilley, says this was a case of young dolphins purposefully experimenting with something we know to be intoxicating. After chewing, they began acting most peculiarly. There's too many consonants in that. Are syllables, hanging around with their noses at the surface as if fascinated by their own reflection.
They're just
And
taking
there's a bunch of-
mushrooms.
A bunch of old dolphins in the background going, dang kids these days.
I know.
Just
I'm questioning the zoologists here. I'm thinking that I think they're projecting. I would be willing to bet a couple of those zoologists are stoners. That's what I think.
or
Right,
wished
like,
they
They're
were.
sitting there
Right?
chewing on
Right.
the pufferfish themselves.
Well, you're
Who
going to
would
be
look at that
sorry. You're going to
and
be
be like-
sorry. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say they're looking at that going like, what else could that dolphin be doing? They're getting high. We know it. Like how? Like I don't understand how they came to that conclusion, but okay.
I was going to say you're going to be sorry when they find out that some dolphin passes a pufferfish into the car of some other dolphin that's going to be an undercover cop.
These
Tries
so
to sell them 1 kilo of pufferfish.
Mm.
apparently in this documentary they use spy cameras hidden in fake turtles, fish, and squid to film 900 hours of footage showing dolphins in their natural habitats. And to that I say, bless the editor, because
Sounds like
wow.
reality TV.
Everybody looks at the end result, and I'm thinking about the guy who's on the cutting room floor going, "There's what?"
Who
There's
let that
4
camera
hours,
run
Jeff.
for 3 months straight? Like, what were you
Yeah.
thinking?
Right?
Oh my
Um,
god.
So yeah. Oh, dolphins.
Do you think orcas are kind of like the cops of the sea because they're black and white? You think that?
Well, I
They're
know
like-
they're some of the murderers of the sea, and they like to sink ships. So
Ah,
actually, I think they're
They're
just the
smart,
criminals.
too. Are they
Both.
though, or are they just have had enough of everybody's shit? They're
Yeah,
just
mo-
going
listen,
after it. You know,
They're
just like, I'm tired
And
of
every
this.
species on Earth, there are at least 5% jerks.
yeah.
You know. So
Is that what you
humans
consider
is
a
higher than
murderer?
that.
right? That yes.
Did JT a murderer is a jerk? Is that
It's
what you're
just
saying?
Jerk.
It's just inconvenience. No, I'm kidding.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
No, I mean,
You jerk.
yeah, you know, and that 5% is totally scientific. Got it from Gilly, the zoologist who was quoted in that. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
know it's real. Um, that's all I got for animals, Mike.
Oh my god.
Some people think I'm an alien. I mean, would you rather have like a gasoline-powered cell phone or a battery-powered cell phone? I mean, it's like no-brainer, you know? I don't really have a business plan. Yeah, I haven't had I had a business plan way back. It was 2 days. Much less than we spend on healthcare, but maybe more than we spend on lipstick. You know, something like that. And I like lipstick, so I think I'm going to case.
Oh no, the car exploded.
Like if you had like crack cocaine on Mars, like in pre-packaged, pallets, it still wouldn't make sense to transport it back here.
It was fun making that. Go ahead, JT.
No, it's your turn, sir.
Okay. Well, Musk to move SpaceX and X HQ over gender identity law. Billionaire Elon Musk has said that he will move the headquarters of two of his most high-profile companies, rocket firm SpaceX and social media platform X, from California to Texas. He said the move is due to recent laws passed by the state, in particular a new law which prevents schools from making rules requiring staff to tell anyone, including parents, information about the child's gender identity. A spokesman for the governor said the law keeps children safe while protecting the critical role of parents. But Mr. Musk called the law, call it the last straw in a post on his social media platform.
I like how the last straw was that, and not the fact that he shirked from paying any of the loans or the the location costs.
He moved Tesla to Texas in 2021 because there's no income tax there.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just that.
Yeah, he's moving the other thing.
He's literally right in Terry's backyard from the other show, and that town is so unhappy. Not just because of him, it's just all the stuff that either is not paid or not fulfilled. So he gets a big enough footprint and then just doesn't do what he said he was going to. So I'm sure they're.
I wonder if he's gonna like living on that electrical grid when things go down.
They probably don't go down for the ultra rich though.
I don't know.
The issue the issue of what schools should tell parents about their children's gender identities has become a major topic of debate in the U.S. LGBTQ advocates say students have the right to privacy, but others argue parents have the right to know what is happening to their children.
He has a transgender child.
Yes.
That doesn't speak to him anymore.
It does. Yeah, I'll skip the next. Mr. Musk, who has a transgender daughter, has previously said he supports trans while expressing impatience with pronouns, calling them aesthetic nightmares. So, yeah, and she has said that she no longer wants to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form when applying to legally change her name and gender. So, yeah, he's probably
sad,
just moving because he wants less taxes, but he's got to have some culture war bullshit attached to it these days.
Yeah,
go ahead, JT. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I hear this article. I miss the days when we didn't know like what professional athletes thought about things. We didn't know what companies' political views were, because now it's just like exhausting. It's like either I got to be upset with this sports team or I'm supposed to support this other company now because they do this. And it's like I have to keep like a whiteboard on the wall and keep track of all this stuff. Somebody's done something to upset me, so I can't do whatever anymore. But I think you guys are probably right. I think he's like, hey, it's lower taxes, and I'll just attach to this so I can make a statement at the same time. But it probably is just to save money.
For sure. This one that I have is less, I don't know, policy based, and more insane. Also kind of like ego driven. And what's really funny is that it's on the Daily Boulder, which is so recent, but also the writer will not give their name, so it's just staff writer. But
weird.
Elon Musk is offering to donate his sperm to help colonize Mars. As SpaceX ramps, this sounds culty, ramps up efforts to achieve interplanetary travel. He has instructed SpaceX teams to start designing a Martian city, complete with dome habitats and protective spacesuits. Medical experts are also investigating the feasibility of reproduction on Mars. He does he does all this like technological altruism that he sees as being beneficial, and I guess his excuse or reasoning is because, well, we're going to need it anyway, so I'm actually helping the population. Or you could solve world hunger with like 5% of your income. But he wrote, he said there's high urgency to making life multi-planetary. Has anybody heard of this high urgency?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't just me. He said, we've got to do it while civilization is so strong. The timeline's uncertain, but he continues to have amass wealth. He has a net worth of $262 billion and is expecting a $47 billion pay package from Tesla this year. Anyways, he decided that, in the event that reproduction is not entirely possible on Mars, he'll help out, which
Not
I'm pretty sure
personally, monetarily,
I'm pretty
right?
sure that's the
Not-
topic of multiple Netflix documentaries. So
I was just going to ask JT, what does Elon Musk need to do and how many times does he need to do it?
his answer is as many as I want.
He's already got a lot of kids, right?
You go up to the Mars dome and it's just a bunch of little Elons running around.
I mean, that is the ultimate goal, right? That is the height
Yeah.
of civilization.
You might want to talk to a scientist about inbreeding, though, there.
True.
I think we need to get him a puffer fish just to chill him out a little. Just
Uh,
Cannabis, pufferfish, I don't know.
I just like
Some of that
he-
cocaine.
He does the little weed. I mean, there's been many interviews that
Does
he's done that's,
does a little weed.
that he's been totally stoned on.
Yeah.
So
I-
who knows?
I don't think I've ever been that high on myself, speaking of stoned, to think that would be an acceptable solution. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
I
know.
think I'm so great. We could repopulate another planet using my sperm. Like that never occurred to you, JT.
no. I'd like to be able to afford to live here before thinking about Mars.
But I mean, that reminds me of that case of that doctor that was inseminating a bunch of people with his sperm. Like,
that
it's
happens
just
a lot, or happened a lot.
fucking
Yeah,
nuts.
it's the
Jen?
God complex. What?
Jen,
Yeah.
do you have something to tell us?
No, trust me.
No.
I was just thinking that if Elon's gonna sperminate the world, they better not get rid of the whole IVF thing, because he's, yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it won't be
I mean,
illegal
I'm
on
sure
Mars.
there's going to be some ready, willing, and able people, but
I'd say you couldn't pay me enough, but you could. You could.
Yeah.
you could pay. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Just a
Oh,
billion.
wow.
An easy
Yeah.
billion, right?
Oh, I could handle $1 billion.
I'm
Of
cheap.
course, yeah. I'm too old now to have babies, but yeah.
You
Like,
give
you
it
don't
a
have to know
good
that.
college try.
I don't know why I can't conceive, Elon.
Yeah.
I have an Elon adjacent one that kind of fits in with the last thing, since you brought
Awesome.
it up. It seems like in the wilds of Minnesota, an unsuspecting Tesla Cybertruck owner recently discovered that raccoons have no respect for futuristic engineering. During
I
what
support
was
these raccoons.
what was supposed to be a serene camping trip, the owner found their truck's tonneau cover, or as Tesla likes to optimistically call it, the vault, covered in adorable yet incriminating muddy paw prints. As shared on the Cybertruck Owners Club forum, the raccoon, or perhaps just one determined raccoon, made a bold attempt to break into the vault overnight. Despite its reputation for ruggedness, the Cybertruck's trim piece was no match for the sharp teeth and persistence of the masked bandits, resulting in the significant damage with some hefty repair costs ahead. Yeah.
Here comes
Good
another
job,
recall.
raccoon.
Uh-huh. So a raccoon was able to yeah. It's got some pretty it's good times.
Oh, it was like Ocean's Raccoon. Just,
Yeah,
I
it
forgot.
thought-
he was going to break into that vault one way or another.
Well, they think that the raccoon or raccoons thought it was a garbage dumpster.
Even better.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they were trying to get in. But here's
This dumpster sucks. Where is all the good
Yeah.
stuff?
Here,
Where's
Mike,
my
I'll
gold?
show you I'll send you the thing, Mike.
The vault was literally just vials of Elon's sperm.
Exactly.
Very disappointing. Tonight's a night of callbacks. I don't know why.
That's from Business Insider, by the way. So I sent you the link, Mike.
Perfect.
I wish I could say that those trucks are cool. Like I really want to say they're cool. That's unfortunate. Wow, that's not even a little bit. That's tough.
They're
There is
hungry.
one truck in this county that I live in, and it's already discolored and rusty and looking bad. And there's no way he's had it for a long time. But he sure drives it like it's one of a kind because he almost cut me off the road. And there are so many bad things that have happened with those vehicles, including the most recent recall, which is for the one single blade windshield wiper.
Yeah, that's failing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and those trucks are crazy expensive, right?
Well, I think they're on sale right now because they have such an overstock of them. I think they dropped the prices.
Well, they
Or
also
I think that's what my
recalled
husband
all of
told me.
them too.
Yeah.
they're from $81,000 to $101,000.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I had an acquaintance of mine from high school who posted a photo on Facebook and it said Tesla truck order canceled. And my first thought was, why did you do that? But my second thought was, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You can't be too unhappy because the majority of the time it's going to be called back to fix it. And I think it's cool that you can download and update and it actually will fix everything from hardware to software to how it reacts. I think that's nifty. But that's the thing. It's just kind of nifty and doesn't, it.
And a car wash can void your warranty.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, didn't somebody have a video where it couldn't go up a muddy hill?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they released some
So if
kind
I'm
of
going
an
to pay like
update for it.
if I'm going to pay $81,000 car, it better be able to go up a muddy hill.
Yeah.
I mean, I do live in Missouri. I mean, we have a lot of muddy hills.
There's
Yeah,
a piece
I
of
don't
me that just wants to troll the Cybertruck for him. I didn't know one existed, but I do want to find one now. It seems fun. I'm not really a troll person,
To troll?
but I mean, I feel like there's some open doors there,
I could troll if I wasn't so scared that people would hunt me down on the internet and find out where I lived.
Also probably true.
Well,
Yeah.
talk to Javier on Pretend. Learn how to get all of your information off the internet and then troll.
He knows. John could probably help me with that.
Yeah.
The more I listen to the new season, the more I realize I probably should do that, like
Yeah.
yesterday. For
All right.
sure.
Well, I think you got to get going, John. It looks like. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm heading out. Yep.
Fine.
All right. Well,
Thank you guys for
shut
having
this
me.
down. Yeah.
Bye, John.
Thanks for coming on.
See you Wednesday.
All right. Yeah. Take care. Thanks, JT. See you,
Thanks
Mike.
for hopping on
Jennifer.
last minute.
Thanks for hopping on.
Appreciate it.
Have a
Take
good
care.
one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to our guest anchors, Jen and John, which is just fun to say. We really appreciate you listening and tuning in. If you have any suggestions for articles or crazy things that you see, you're more than welcome to email us at brewcrime@pacificbeerchat.com, and we would love to be able to feature that. You don't have to include your name, but if you want to shout out, feel free to. So thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in to Brew Crime News, where we deliver your daily news monthly.
So make sure to behave yourself or fuck around and find out. You might find yourself on Brew Crime News.
For all of the sources of this episode of Brew Crime News, head to the Brew Crime podcast feed. This has been a production of Brew Crime.